Hi friends! Hi guys, Crystal Alley here. As always, thank you for your love and support. And like I said, I was going to try to get some more videos here for you. So far they've mostly been about spirituality, tarot cards, runes, divination tools that I like, spiritual topics, but as many of you know, I am hoping to combine psychology and spirituality. Both mean a lot to me, and in my personal experience, I believe to heal wholly and fully, it combines aspects of emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. You must have all aspects combined to have full healing, and so that is what I hope to do. A lot of you know I hope to have worldwide conferences one day and bring speakers and authors and from all over the world, some of the people that have been instrumental in my spiritual journey and my healing process, and that would just bring so much joy to my heart to have these conferences that deal with psychological and spiritual aspects, from like Gabrielle Bernstein to Kyle Gray or Abraham Hicks, maybe on the spiritual side, to Richard Grannon and Sam Vakin, who I will talk more about today, on the psychological side of narcissism, emotional abuse, things like that, to kind of cover the whole gamut, to have seminars and workshops, and to have everything from Reiki healing to acupuncture to yoga to massage therapy, card readings, meditation sessions, some pampering yourself, some spa treatments, just kind of like a whole weekend of restoration on all levels, spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. So now you know that's like one of my ultimate goals here. So today I want to start my series on the more psychological aspect on narcissism and emotional abuse, which unfortunately I have had personal experience with, and I know many of you have, and it's been coming up a lot lately. So I really felt like it was time to start doing these videos. I really felt like they were telling me it is time to share your story. People need to hear this. So I have kind of developed a little 5-step code word. I call it CPAT, S-E-P-A-T, when we are talking about narcissism and emotional abuse and codependency and trying to heal from these things. The S stands for step away or step back, or sometimes I like to say step away from the narc. Just allow yourself to step outside of that box, outside of your situation, because we can't see what's going on when we're in it. We don't want to see what's really going on when we're in it. We're too, your heart's too involved, and you want so desperately to believe that it's something it's not. So the first thing you need to do in codependency, emotional abuse, narcissistic relationships is to be willing to take that step outside the box and take a step back and just say, hey, wait a minute, something is not right here. Something in my gut in here is giving me warning signs, hence red flags. And just be willing to take that step back for a second and listen to your gut and say, all right, something is just not right here. And then secondly, E stands for educate. Educate yourself. This is another pivotal step. This is where Richard Grannon and Sam Vakin come in. Richard Grannon is the Spartan Life Coach. I highly recommend, if you think you are in any kind of narcissistically abusive relationship or have experienced it, or codependency or childhood trauma, Spartan Life Coach, he has his website, he has YouTube videos. Please, friends, check him out. And Sam Vakin, who is an actual narcissist, who has now done seminars with Richard Grannon, it's extremely enlightening to actually see a narcissist talk about what he knows he's doing. For the first time ever, a narcissist is out speaking, saying, hey, yeah, we do this, yeah, to get that viewpoint. It helps a lot. There are also a lot of other good, Angie Atkinson, Ross Rogenberg, Melanie Tanya Evans, just to name a few. Please check them out on YouTube. The book Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Richard Grannon mentioned that one. It's like my Bible, kinda. You must absolutely get it. It is just huge help in this process. The book is just amazing. When Love is a Lie by Zari Ballard, or the one by PM melody about codependency. I can't think of the name of it right now, sorry. I'll try and get that later. But anyways, please check these guys out and just start to educate yourself. Then the third one, P, is purge. Get it the hell out of you. Get the emotions out of you. Just start to allow the process. The healing process, I've been told, or I've heard, it's like peeling back the layers of an onion. And so it's just, it takes some time, but just be willing to go with it. And it kind of goes with the next one, which is A, which I call allow yourself to process the grief. Allow yourself to acknowledge the feelings. Just allow yourself to go through the process. I say purge because you're going to probably do a lot of crying. And I love when Richard Grant talks about how you can cry until you have snot bubbles. Trust me, I did it. I would cry every day on the way home from work in the car. I'd manage to make it through dinner with my family, and then I would get in the shower and I would cry until I was sobbing, snot bubbles coming out. Sometimes you might even puke. Sometimes I would cry till I had to sit down on the side of the tub because my legs would give out, because it was that, oh, see, even now thinking about it, it's that kind of crying where you're just like, and it just, you have to let it out, friends. You have just got to get it out. Start acknowledging it. Another great book, The Secret Language of Feelings by Calvin Banyan, helps you to process if you're having trouble knowing what you're even feeling or thinking. And I would do that every night. I would be in the shower and I would start talking to myself, like he says, okay, why are you feeling this way? Because I saw him in a car with another girl and he claims there was nothing wrong with it. Okay, so there's jealousy. Why are you jealous? And all of a sudden these things start coming up that you would never realize. Stuff about my mother, and I finally got to the root of the problem. And I was like, okay, because I've always had to compete. I had to compete against my sister because my mother pitted us against each other. And I never felt good enough, ever. So why did you never feel good enough? Why would you think you're not good enough? Keep asking yourselves these questions, and all of a sudden it'll just hit you. And more things come up and more things come out, and you just gotta let it, get it out of you. And I promise, the more you do it, the better you will feel. Every time you allow that process to happen, it sheds more layers, and you feel lighter and lighter, and you start to feel like, okay, I could do this. Let's keep going. And then finally you get to T, which is take your life back, or take your power back. Finally, you will start to know who you are, and you will start to get to the root of the trauma and the root of the problem, and you will really start to heal and find yourself again, and never allow anyone to treat you like this again. Unfortunately, us codependents and empaths, as you know, we call them in the spiritual world, tend to attract narcissists, and it's a life lesson and a cycle for many of us that we have to break. So I want to talk about mainly today, like the first 3 steps: stepping back, educating yourself, which is why I kind of called it red flags. Listen to your gut. Your gut, whether you want to look at it from a spiritual point of view or a psychology kind of point of view, you have an internal guidance system. We all do. And you have got to listen to it, my friends. And no matter what subject you're talking about, whether it's your life purpose, whether it's your job, whether it's relationships, your body will send you signals, and it will not steer you wrong. And one of the favorite things of narcissists, especially covert narcissists, is to tell you that you're crazy and you're imagining things. And when you start to get that sick feeling in your gut, and you start to, you know, kind of shake, and you get that hyper, what's the word I'm looking for? It's hyper something going, and you know, they will throw anything back in your face, and oh, you're just jealous and you're crazy and you're imagining things. And no, your inner guidance system is trying to tell you something. So some of the signs I wanted to talk about today. Okay, number 1, when you are with a covert or overt narcissist, now there are 2. Overts are like the outright assholes. They're almost easier to deal with, and Richard and Sam will both tell you that. They're just the blatant assholes. Look at me, I am great, everybody must worship me, and what I say goes, and they're just, you know, and they will just terrorize and walk all over people. That's my mother and sister, just outright. Covert and they also say is almost worse. It is very shady, deceptive, coercive, just sick, twisted, underhanded things that they do. And one of the number one things is when you first meet them, they will act like you are just their best friend, long lost love, soulmate. Oh my God, they know you like nobody else has ever known you. They listen, they listen and hang on every word and stare right in your eyes very intently, like they are looking right into your soul and they truly want to know everything about you. That's a pure act, my friends. What they're doing is gathering information to use against you later on. They are literally, it's like the craziest thing. It's like they're trained to do it or something. They grow up learning how to do it or something. They are watching your reactions, your mannerisms, every story you ever tell to use against you. And now they're not relating to you like you think they are. They're going, oh, she's talking about ex-boyfriends that have hurt her or mistreated her. Well, if she let them do it, she's going to let me do it. Oh, she has issues with jealousy. Well, anytime she tries to call me out, I could just use this, oh, you just have jealousy issues. It's not me. You just have problems. Oh, she has a thing with depression or anxiety. I can use that against her. Oh, she's already got some, doesn't really like her sister or mother or whatever. Well, then I don't ever have to deal with her family or meet her family because I could be like, well, you told me they were assholes. So no matter what it is you think they're relating to, they're just gathering all this information to just throw back in your face. And one of the main things mine did, and I want to share my whole story, and I'll have to share it in bits and pieces because I don't want to make these videos too long. But I'm 40 now. I was 37 and a half when this started at my job. I worked in an insurance agency, small family-owned company. There's about 35 of us there. And I had just broken off an engagement with another, he was a jerk. I don't think he was a narcissist, but he was a jerk. And when this started with the covert narcissist, who had a known track record of fooling around with women and women at work and everything, and it's just like these blinders come down or something and you just don't care. They start talking to you and you think they're relating to you on the soul level, and they start complimenting you. You're the most gorgeous woman or man I've ever seen in my life. I can't live without you. Oh my God, even though he was involved with someone else, as many of them are, and I understand that may make some people look down on me, but I have a feeling that I'm just supposed to tell my story as it is, so I will. That's a whole nother ballgame that I can get into, the guilt and shame that I've had to process from that. Trust me, you can't call me any more names than I've already called myself for doing that. However, unfortunately, I felt very bad for her because she was well aware of his antics and she chose to stay. And that's something that I hope to God she'll be able to break the pattern someday. But he even had private investigators show up at his home with evidence of him with other people's wives and girlfriends and things. And she still chose to ignore those facts and stay. But anyways, and so did I. When the whole thing started, it's just, there's no hard evidence. There's no proof. So, he really loves me. I must be the one. And I listened to his whole sob story about why I couldn't leave her because she was depressive and threatened to commit suicide if he left. And he was so miserable. And if only we could just run away together. And where had I been his whole life? And yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden one day, I've heard people say it takes 3 months, 6 months, a year. The tides just turn. And all of a sudden, things started happening. The things that make you go, Remember that song by CNC Music Factory? Oh my God, showing my age here. Things that make you go, I would show up at work in the parking lot and he'd be sitting there with another coworker of ours, another girl about my age. Incidentally, our names started with the same letter. Our hair color was the same. And he had been flirting with her even before he and I started talking and getting involved. And I'd show up at work and they'd be sitting in her car in the parking lot. Now, I was the only one that came to work early every day. He started about an hour and a half before all of us because he was the maintenance man. And of course, I would be upset and he would turn around and throw it in my face. I would say, what would she even be doing here before work? Because nobody comes here early. you know, what the hell is going on? This isn't right. And he'd make up some story. Oh, I was walking down the street because something blew down the street and I had to go pick it up, and she happened to be coming around the corner and just gave me a ride to work. Okay, things that make you go, I mean, okay, you're not imagining things, but these things would happen over and over and over, and he would start throwing, it's your jealousy issues because of your past and what's been going on. I have a right to be friends with people, and it's all in your head, and, you know, blah, 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 and it would just get worse and worse. And then there was another woman who incidentally was 25 years older than him. Let me tell you, friends, they don't care. They don't care age, height, weight. He was with anything, anyone, at any time, and I was constantly in this competition of trying to be the prettiest, trying to be the best, trying to figure out why he would need anyone else but me. You know, you get that whole ego thing going, and that competitiveness, which goes right back to my mother pitting me and my sister against each other and trying to compete for her love and attention. But I didn't know that now. But this is why I'm saying why it's important to educate, or I didn't know that then, why it's important to educate yourself to get to the root of problem of what's going on. Irregardless of he shouldn't have been treating me like that and he was a narcissist, I had to get to the root to find out what was going on here so that I could heal. But he just would, you're crazy, and then, which leads into number 2, the silent treatment. Another favorite tactic of narcissism. And then I would get punished for calling him out on it, or even just nicely asking him about something. All of a sudden, the texting hundreds of times a day, nothing. I was lucky if I got 1 or 2 texts a day. Asking me to go to lunch, nope, he would just utterly ignore me for 2 weeks, and if I asked him why, I got punished again. Sometimes I don't feel good. Sometimes I'm just having an off day. You're crazy. You're jealous. Blah, blah, blah. And so then, when I used to get called beautiful, gorgeous, I love you, all these amazing things every day, then it started turning into another tactic they love, teasing. So every day I would get, good morning, Jelly McJellison, good morning, Braddy McBradderson, or Stewie McStewerson. He loved the Uwerson names. You know, oh, what are you going to complain about today? What are you going to bitch about today? What do you think I did today? Oh no, I did something wrong again. It's just this crazy mind games. It's just constant mind games, my friends, which leads me into another sign, eye contact. Like I said in the beginning, when they first get to know you, they're staring right into your eyes, right into your soul. They want to know everything about you. And then all of a sudden you'll notice, 6 months, a year into it later, I would stand in the morning at work and talk to him, and we would like sit, and he would just, I'd be looking this way at him, and he'd just be staring out the window like this. And it just kind of hit me one day that he would never look at me anymore. Never looked at me anymore. It would just stare out the window like, it's almost like they're just standing there going, yes, admire me, appreciate me. Yes, I know you want me, but I'm not going to give you the time of the day or the satisfaction. That's another tactic. And then they start withholding affection and sex. And again, you're going, okay, do I smell? Am I ugly all of a sudden? Did I put on weight? Do I need to lose weight? You're always thinking, what did I do? What did I do wrong? What can I do to get their attention, to get their love back? No, it's just tactics. And these feelings inside of you, when you feel that it is not right and you're getting sick to your stomach, this is your internal guidance system warning you that something is not right. It is not you, my friends. You are not crazy. I'm not saying everyone in the world's a narcissist and every relationship is a narcissist, and I'm not a psychologist, and I'm not trying to diagnose. I am just giving you what I have learned from personal experience and from these master gurus that I love to listen to and their expertise that has helped me. These are the signs of emotionally abusive relationships, of covert and overt narcissism, and especially covert narcissism that I had to deal with. These are the warning signs that you need to look out for and to start educating yourself about. Another huge classic one is hoovering, which again, I had to learn all of these as I went along. Hoovering is when you've had enough. And you've had enough and you tell them to F off, I can't take it anymore, your mind games, your silent treatments, you're throwing the jealousy in my face, I catch you doing this and this red-handed, and you still try to tell me I'm crazy. Then, if you cut them off and go no contact, which is something we'll get into later, they'll start blowing up your phone again and start texting and I love you and oh my god, they can even shed tears. I used to work the reception desk, and he would walk by when he was fixing stuff or whatever, and actually managed to squeeze out a tear. I smell you throughout the whole building. I can smell your scent. I can't stand it. I miss your touch, and I miss the and like actually like make you think that they're having emotion, and you know, I know I'm effed up, or I know I did things wrong, and please could we just go to lunch just once? And of course, like a Hoover vacuum, it is so true, they suck you right back in, and you're going, okay, yep, I know I'm a little jealous, I know I have issues, I know I've had bad relationships, he's gotta really care, I know this is true, I know he's my soulmate, we'll just do lunch. Oh, and then the next day we're back to texting, and all of a sudden it was back to sexting, and the passion and the fury and everything was right back again. And they love it, my friends. Don't kid yourself. Sometimes he would do it on purpose and stir up the drama or try to make me jealous just so that we could fight and then make up. They literally get bored if there's not enough drama and they're not upsetting you enough. They suck and feed off of your pain and your torment. And it's just, that's why they call them energy vampires, is because they just suck the life out of you. That's how they fill the deep dark hole within themselves, is by your energy, your pain, your torment, whether it's sex, whether it's fighting, whether it's crying. As long as you're having some kind of reaction to them, they're getting what they need. Otherwise, they feel like they don't exist. So I don't mean to get into a tangent. I'm going to touch on all of these subjects more as I go along. I just felt like it was in my heart. I needed to start to get my story out. And the last thing I want to leave you with is that you cannot change them. The only thing that you can change is to get to the root of your trauma and your pain, and to be willing to take that step and to start your healing process. You cannot change someone because you love them. You cannot fix anybody. You can't make them see the light. You can't make them want to change. Just like that one song, what is it? That's just the way it is. Dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee. Some things will never change. Dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee. But it's true. They have to be willing to change themselves, whether it's a narcissist or if they're battling an addiction. You cannot change someone with your love. They've got to want to do it themselves. And unfortunately, a narcissist, that one's going to take a little time, whether you look at it from a spiritual or psychological point of view. They've got a lot of work to do, and you really can only walk away and worry about yourself. You cannot seek revenge on a narcissist. You're not going to get closure. It's just, that's one of the hardest things to accept, but you have got to just take care of yourself. Step back, educate yourself, purge, get that shit out of you, peel it back, peel the layers, let it happen, allow the grieving process, and to accept your feelings and to accept what it was for what it was, and take back your power. And most importantly, listen to your gut and your inner guidance system. It is not steering you wrong, whether we're talking about life changes, career, life purpose, emotional abuse. You have an inner guidance system that was given to you by a creator, source, whatever you want to call it. It will not steer you wrong. And trust me, my friends, as I have said in my other video, if I can get through this, you can. If I can heal from the emotional abuse, the narcissism, if I can take back my power, then you can. Because only 3 years ago, oh, sorry, I get so emotional. It was just 3 years ago I had the razor blade to my wrist in that office because of that asshole. Ready to end it all. Thank God I didn't, because I have an 18-year-old child sitting in that room right there who needs a mother. And they say it takes something to break you to awake you, which is true sometimes. And I thank God I actually got a phone call. I got paged over the loud system, and it startled me. I had it, and they said, well, I won't say my name, but they said, you had a phone call. And I went, it was so loud, like over the loudspeaker where I was. They said, you have a phone call, and I dropped it, and I couldn't find it. I looked for it for days after, and somewhere, we call it the dungeon, it was dark back there, that razor blade fell somewhere, and I couldn't find it. So, act of God, if you want to say so, probably. But thank God, from that day is when I started to take a look at things and step back, and I started to, thank God I stumbled on Richard's videos on YouTube, Again, Spartan Life Coach, you gotta look them up. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, all of you who have put that knowledge out there and are sharing your stories. So I thank God that I just took a step back and that I'm still here, and that's why I'm doing this, and that's why I'm trying to share the love and light with all of you and share my experience and my story. I'm even trying to write a book about it, in the hopes of helping you to do the same. I apologize for my tearing and snotting. I might have to go make some snot bubbles right now. So I should probably end there before I snot all over the place. So thank you for your continued support. I promise I will do more videos on the spiritual and psychological side. I really hope to combine both to help you all heal and to take your lives back and to take your power back, because if I know if I can, you can. Love you guys.